Greetings, industrialists. It's Marc. I'm a producer working on Gilded Destiny at Aquila Interactive.
And I'm John, one of the content designers working on Gilded Destiny at Aquila Interactive.
In today's Dev Diary, we're very excited to share some gameplay, showcasing the logistics system, the buildings and production system, and a few aspects of the military system, including the military conquest of one of our unfortunate smaller neighbors. This is quite a long Dev Diary, as it includes over 30 minutes of continuous gameplay as Prussia. However, you'll notice to save some time, I did speed up the video in some places, so we have just over 25 minutes of video here of continuous gameplay. I fast-forwarded some parts where we didn't have anything relevant, or dare I say intelligent, to say, or when we were waiting on production, railways, or troops. However, until the very end, when we show the annexation of a neighboring nation, we did not pause the recording. The reason for the pause is actually we thought of showing the fruits of our total victory after the fact. You will see this text, speeding up video, in the upper right corner to indicate that the footage of the gameplay is being sped up, but not cut. Finally, keep in mind that not all of the UI, menus, and art assets in the game are final and are in the process of being updated, and in many cases will change significantly. However, hopefully you will see that the game is playable to a large extent, many systems and mechanics are in place and functioning, even as they are awaiting input of initial data to function properly. Without further ado, let's get started.
So, to start off with, we should probably explain that most of the data is still being input into the game, especially data relating to industries and population jobs and all that sort of thing. Meaning that, well, the resources that the world needs currently aren't being produced. And we can see some of that if we go into the trade menu and see that, some, obviously also because some of the tech stuff hasn't been implemented yet, certain goods which don't appear till later already exist as available, when actually they're not going to be there in alpha. But if we look through some of these goods, we can see that, for instance, we need more steel. We're only getting some of our demand met for steel. And what we can do, because we want to start building stuff, is increase our national reserve or target. And that little indicator there will start moving up as we fill up our national reserve.
Right, but we'll check back on that a bit later.
We will. Before we do, though, something worth noting. There we have the current price of steel is above the base price a little bit. And at the moment, our maximum purchase price is only set to 8. And our minimum selling price is set to 8. Meaning that if we're able to afford any of these goods, which we're not currently saying we should buy, then it means that we'd automatically sell them as well. Because it's so what we actually need to do is bump up the max purchasing price. The little tooltip there, as with many of the tooltips in the game at the moment, still need to be finalized, and that's why we put localization on our roadmap for this month. So we've currently put in a huge max purchase and min selling price because we really want those resources. It won't actually buy them at those prices unless the current price goes that high, but we're just making sure it's above the value that we want, above the value of the current price. Same for lumber. We are going to increase the max purchase price and max selling price, and the reason we're going for steel and lumber here is because we need them to build railways. Finally, also ammunition. We currently are experiencing a bit of a dearth of ammunition. We are getting very little supply, even though we're consuming a huge amount of it, and this is something that's happening all over the world. So we're going to put some target quantity in, we're going to increase the max purchase price, and we're going to increase the minimum selling price. And what we might expect to see, because there's a global dearth of ammunition as well, is that this price may well end up shooting up, especially because we've put in an order as well. What we can see as we go through, and is that hopefully our messing about with this, why is this menu not going? Anyway, our messing about, is it changing constantly?
It is.
Okay. Our messing about with this should have actually impacted the price. So,
yep, there we go.
As you can see now,
shot way up.
Yeah, comparison with its base price, ammunition is far more expensive. Now, what this could mean over time, and in fact we can do this from the trade menu as well, what this could mean over time is that when we look at production, at the moment there aren't many ammunition factories, and if we go through we can see that for many of the factory types there aren't that many. There's a fair few glassworks for some reason, but you know, that's partly because we already own some of them. There's a fair few cement factories as well. What we may end up seeing over time is that capitalists will start building some of those industries to produce goods that we're experiencing a dearth of. So that's something we'll come back to in a bit. Now, a major thing that we discussed in the trade dev diary is the connection of provinces. And so that's something we're going to go into a bit now. So let's move time along a bit. Let's stop time again. And let's take a good look. So this is our logistics menu. Now, as we saw in the trade screen, a lot of these provinces are unconnected. In fact, all of our provinces are unconnected because we haven't input all the roads that we need to start the game with, which will be in the alpha. So here, our economic hub is Potsdam. We need to connect that up to the rest of our empire.
Right. So here you see the logistics menu, and down at the bottom you have these cards where you can choose what you would like to build. So in this case, why don't we build some railways?
Yeah. So from Potsdam to, well, actually let's go to Halle, and then from Halle to Magdeburg, just because we want to connect up all three anyway. And let's do that as well, just in case, so that we've got this nice ring road connection here, just in case any of those networks go down. We also probably want to connect up our financial hub to our capital, just in case. Let's also maybe just build a little cheeky little railway to Landsberg as well. There we go. And let's see how those get on. So we start the timer. Okay, and as you can see, some of them have started building already. As they... Oh, let's ignore that. As those resources have been filled. The resource demands for some of these have not been filled yet, but they will be over time. Let's check our trade. How's our steel doing? Have we spent all of our steel? We have not spent all of... No, we have spent all of our steel. We can actually come in here and say, as you can see, like a lot of our steel is...
Right.
We put the target price.
But look at the price.
Price has shot up since we started asking for steel, and we can probably see the same thing for lumber as well. Yep, look at that price increase.
Yeah. Well, the cost of industry and building railroads, I guess.
And we clearly have been burning through our national reserve, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to build any of those things.
Well, why don't we increase the price on steel so that we can get a little bit more?
Okie dokie, let's do that. So let's go back to steel.
Because we're not even buying any.
We're not buying anymore because it's too expensive. So let's just go even higher with it. Okay, that should do it. We could also, like a huge export tariff, just to make sure we're not selling any of it anywhere else. We can also check out our ammunition as well. Let's see how that's getting along. So ammunition, we're still not buying any because we're not producing any, which is a problem. I don't know what's going on there. Let's put it on a huge export tariff for that as well, just in case. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the price is, as you can see, the price shot up. But yes, I don't know why we're not purchasing any. However, let's check industries. So go into the buildings tab. Let's see if any of those have started building anything. Can you see any of those where it's increased a lot?
I don't think there are any changes, no.
No, not yet. We might need to give it a bit more time. Okay. Let's move on with time and see if anything else builds. So as you can see when we've zoomed out, we've got this nice little railway connection here. Okay. Okay.
Can you build a railway from Berlin to Cottbus?
I mean, potentially, but we currently don't have enough steel. Nope.
Oh.
Let's see what the trade's like. Okay. Okay, we are getting some in a national reserve now.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're still not meeting anywhere near the total demand, but we are getting some.
The purchase price is now... The actual price is now the price of our purchase price.
Yeah. What's weird as well is that there's actually a huge excess production, but globally, but we're just not the ones getting that.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see here, the United Kingdom are... I mean, clearly there's some of our market share left to be obtained because not all of our demand is being met. Mm-hmm. But the United Kingdom is massively contributing to our steel supply at the moment, and we're kind of reliant on them for steel.
Mm-hmm.
So, better not start any wars with them right now.
Hey everyone, Marc here with just a quick editor's note. We realized later that we didn't have any roads or railways connecting our economic hub to a port, which is why we are only trading with our direct neighbors. In other words, this means that the system is working as it should. We probably should have thought to check the foreign markets tab.
Okay, let's see. Let's go back to our logistics and see. Yeah, as you can see, some of them are building. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come on, you can do it.
Mm-hmm. And once these are completed, we should start to see that Prussian Saxony and then also Neumark will eventually be connected.
In fact, we could show that now, yeah. So, at the moment, Neumark is an unconnected province, and some of these goods demands and satisfactions are different from our national market because they're not connected to our national market right now. So, when they are connected, we should see some differences.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's move the timer along again. Let's show the logistics menu and show those satisfying image of progress bars for
and there we are. So now Prussian Saxony and Neumark both should be connected.
Yeah, let's hope
almost
it fills
there.
up. There we go. Okay, so now these networks are being connected up, and if we take a look at our list here, well, it hasn't updated yet. So let's go back here. Let's give it another week and then do the thing. Okay, so look, as you can see, Neumark is no longer part of one of our unconnected provinces. Obviously, it might seem a bit strange that we've got unconnected provinces listed here. That's because usually especially for a country like Prussia, the game will start with those connected.
Exactly. As you were saying, before the alpha comes out, those main roads will be laid.
Yeah, roads will be laid, railways won't be laid. That is something that you, as a player, get to do. Obviously, for many countries around the world, those roads won't exist, but for most of Europe, they will. Okay, so we've got those connected up, and as we see, actually, if we go to, we can't see Neumark anymore on that list because it's no longer a separate province. It's connected to our national economy, our national market. Let's take a look at some of the goods that you've got. So, the price of lumber is going down. That's partly because we're not consuming any more right now. We've stopped building railways for the moment, so we're not buying anymore.
And we're not selling any.
And we're not selling any. Yeah, we could sell some actually, couldn't we? Let's take a look at steel. Steel is also dropping in price, so that's our big production spike. We're responsible for that.
Yeah.
And we're also, again, we're not buying anymore right now, and so the price has significantly dropped. Right. So let's take a look at ammunition, though, which should still be fairly high in price. Reason for that is soldiers are still consuming ammunition. Army rations. Essentially, we haven't put any food production buildings in the game yet, and as a result, all armies will starve. So that's just something that we obviously will input. The point of this dev diary is to show that a lot of these systems are interconnected and working. For instance, we haven't put any army rations buildings in the game yet, so the armies will starve. That's an example of a system working. It's just a system that we need to update with content.
Right.
Why
don't we build a few more? Why do we have all these soldiers out here in the east? Why do we connect that province so maybe they can get some goods?
Yeah, exactly. Let's do that. Let's also see if they've actually built any more things here yet. No, they haven't. Oh, hang on. Did they build more steelworks?
I think they did.
Yeah. So here they have started building steelworks.
Right. Because of that.
The tooltips.
Right. Exactly. Because of that production spike.
Precisely. So they've they're trailing behind a little bit, but they are doing it. And these kind of bars here, they're indicating
productivity. This is workforce. This is savings.
Yeah. And savings kind of the amount of the money that an industry uses to buy more input goods and to hire and pay their workforce. If they run out of savings, they will go bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. Hey everyone, Marc here. Just a quick editor's note. We couldn't use the audio here, but basically what we were talking about is that it looks like we have a big factory up in Cis Pomerania. So these numbers up here indicate how large the factory is. You can expand your factories if you've got the money and the workers for it, and capitalists will do that for you if they're making a profit. I think this one here was one that we had at the game start, and it probably isn't making a profit because it isn't connected to the national market. So a lot of these goods aren't being sold. So we should probably get a railway built up there to connect it to our economic center. Let's go to the logistics panel.
Yeah, we actually need to connect Cis Pomerania to our economic hub. Let's see what we can do is actually we can work out what the quickest route is by, if you scroll out a little bit, and then actually Stettin, and connect that up to Berlin. Yeah.
So there we are.
And it automatically works out the quickest route, and then right click. Yeah.
All right. So now let's try and connect some of these out here.
There we go. Cool. To Koslin.
Yeah.
And any others we want to connect up?
Yeah, I mean, let's just keep it.
Landsberg to Posen.
Yeah. And then what about something further east? So maybe let's do Danzig.
Okie dokie. Let's connect up Danzig.
All right.
And that will almost certainly bankrupt us by building so many railways so closely together. But let's see how we do.
But it'll make those steel producers quite happy.
It will, yeah. And hopefully also by connecting Cis Pomerania to our economic centre, it means that we'll actually have more steel in our market for us to buy in the first place.
And as you can see, they're all actually being built because we have enough steel.
Yeah,
so
well,
perfect.
Also, let's check. I mean, part of the reason they're able to build, we do have enough steel. But let's see what the steel output is like, because it should be that we are producing more than we're getting because of that. Okay, and they've all finished.
Excellent.
So first off, actually, before we do this, let's check our buildings again. Let's take a look. They built a lot of assembly lines. Yeah, as you can see, they really decided. Well, that's similar to ammunition. They've realised that because units consume small arms, they realise that actually they need to build a lot more small arms and that they'll sell. And if we check out, what we can do is check the trade and see how our production of small arms is going. So scroll down to S and it should, there we go, we've only got 1% satisfaction. In fact, that's why we are currently, why all the capitalists are building small arms instead of ammunition, because small arms is being less satisfied than ammunition.
Now, since we have these nice railways made, why don't we move why don't we talk about the troops and send them on in the railway, take them to the financial capital? Absolutely.
So now that we've got this network connecting our financial capital, we need to defend it. And we have all these troops out east. As you can see, they're all over here on the map. We don't want to select all of them yet because so in this bar here, you can kind of see their strength, their organization, and their supply. This is, again, tooltip's going to be fixed in it. But this bar here shows regiment type, the country it belongs to, the number of units of that regiment type present, and their current stance, what they're being told to do. When we click on the unit, this arrow here, again, that's a placeholder asset, but this arrow here is indicating that this is where it's being supplied from, this city here, Danzig. Now, we could tell it to march across this distance, but we have this railway now, and instead, let's tell it to go to Danzig, and from Danzig, let's tell it, so that little button there, again, placeholder asset, but let's tell it to go to Berlin. Okay, let's tell it to go just outside of Berlin. Okay, so as you can see, the arrows change slightly. Let's take this unit over here, send it to Lauenburg. Now that this unit is in Lauenburg, let's tell it to take the railway to Berlin.
And what was the button you just clicked on?
This button here. This is a button that will enable a unit to travel by railway or to not travel by railway. There are advantages and disadvantages of travelling by rail. One of the main ones, of course, you get there faster, but a slight disadvantage is that once you get off at the other end, you will need a little bit of time to recover your unit's organisation. Okay, let's try and select the unit again. Oh, because it's already got that order. Because it did accept that order.
Oh, okay.
Let's try and move this unit here.
Well, now, although the thing to point out is, of course, because he's on the train, he can't just jump off the train at any moment.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So.
Okay, so now we've connected Stettin to our capital. Let's see if we can actually.
And there he goes.
So that means that he will take the rail as opposed to walking by foot, and we can actually set the time to move, and we'll watch him rather than marching. So if we go over to a marching unit and tell it to march instead, I know that one's got an order to travel. Okay, this unit here, we can march him over here, and you can see it's got that red arrow, and he's going to start walking. This unit isn't walking because when you click on him, he's currently on the train and he's moving along.
And then why don't we go zoom into Berlin a little bit, and we'll see him appear when he's done.
Yep. There we go, and he's appeared there. Cool. Okay, so yeah, he's now defending Berlin. And now that we've got this network connecting all these troops, is it time to declare war on someone?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's declare war on Saxony. It's time to take Saxony. And they like us, but you know what? Fabricate casus belli, conquer province, confirm. Okay, so we've declared war on Saxony. They've got one army there. As you can see, this army is low on strength. We mentioned earlier that there's a global shortage of military rations. They're struggling. Admittedly, if we look at this unit, and a lot of our units are struggling as well. This info panel here gives a great deal of information about the strength of the unit, its current organisation, what stats it has, and how those stats are being affected by its current conditions. So at the moment its strength is quite severely limited because, well, it's starving. It has no goods, no resources, and no
and no ammunition.
No ammunition. But it still might beat the Saxon forces, and this one over here may also have a fighting chance. So let's just see.
And what about our friend
How
defending
about we get him to sweep in and take Dresden?
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, excellent. And he's just kind of waiting out there in the
how
hallway.
about we get him to take Leipzig while
Excellent.
they're occupied? And why this pops up, I don't know, but ignore that thing. That's being removed. Again, we're showing you very much a work in progress, and as a result, there's a lot of things that still need fixing.
For example, here it just wants us to build a city.
Yeah, really wants a city. We're not going to gratify it with that, but at the moment, okay. So, as you can see, the troops are on the march. Let's slow it right down to see what's going on. So, yeah, go.
No, I mean there you can see you could see the battle progress just there a moment ago, but of course the
battle's over so quickly.
Exactly.
The battles will last longer in future. We have that being adjusted. So he's currently moving to defend Leipzig, but here we go, a battle that he can't run away from.
And you can see also that we're occupying Dresden.
We are. And he's being attacked from two sides now. He is flanked. Now, this is the ongoing battle screen. at the moment, the stings will still be will be updated. Of course, we're missing the units here, but you can see some things that we currently have. For instance, the number of troops that engage, number of the wounded, number of the dead, and also the kind of balance of power. At the moment, we are absolutely whipping them, so we're doing quite well there. Ignore this text at the moment, that's the sort of thing that we're being updated. But as you can see also, we're recovering some of our organisation because we're winning. So our troops are happy about that. And we've taken Dresden, which is why it's got that red text there. And we are currently, just taken Leipzig. The battle is over, we won.
We're just occupying Leipzig right now. And I think once that's done, we will be able to...
we'll be able to dictate terms, I believe. We'll have won that war.
Yeah, exactly.
Hang on. Yeah, we currently have occupied this province, and now that this province is occupied, it's fine. That's the closest point of supply. So we're probably in a good position to dictate terms. Now, obviously, we'll go into way more detail about military. We could also have a little look at recruiting another unit, just in case any other countries decide that they want a piece of this. So let's recruit a unit. And let's recruit an infantry unit in Brandenburg and an infantry unit in Prussian Saxony.
Right. Yeah, perfect.
We'll go into more detail about this.
And if you click on, you could click on the division
Yeah,
templates for just a moment, and you can see here you have pretty standard divisions. And if you click on one of them, you can add any one and easily customize your own division as you see fit.
Obviously, we don't want to do that right now, so let's do that. Yep. But also, as you can see, when you've done that, you can see their strength going down because I'm removing units from it, and then I'm adding units back in. For some reason, this unit is incredibly powerful, which it won't be in the game itself. But that's just because of things that need to be updated. Anyway, but it affects all of these stats here. Right. Cool. Okay, and then we can show some time passing. Saxony is no more. We have conquered them, and we own both Prussian Saxony and Saxony.
Yep, started the unification of Germany.
We have, very slowly, but it will happen. And of course, now we can also link up Saxony with our network. Let's do the thing again. Cool. Okay. That's building. That's building. That's building. So we've just taken Saxony, and now we're currently connecting it to our network.
Excellent. And our progress has been saved.
It has.
Perfect.
Good. Okay. Cool.
All right. Awesome.
So we'll go into way more detail about how all of that works in a military dev diary, which hopefully will be coming quite soon.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably enough for now. So goodbye.